hope you're doing well. So I know I announced this live very last minute, but forgive me. I don't have any excuses. Actually, we come up with excuses when something is not priority. And maybe I should make it a priority of mine for me to be going live more frequently. What do you guys think? Maybe I should commit to it and do it at least once a week and then put it on my schedule. But other than that, we just come up with excuses. It's been so long, you guys. I'm so happy to see you already joining. So say hi when you're joining. It's been so long that I couldn't actually find my microphone, because I use like an extension mic. So yeah, God knows for how long it's been, maybe at least a month or more, like a month and a half. So we're back in the hustle season after the holidays, after vacation and so on. So I hope that you had a very nice summer and that you were able to like recharge yourself and enjoy yourself and be ready for the last 4 months of the year. Can you believe it? Like in less than 4 months now, it's gonna be 2019, which is just unbelievable. And I have so much that I haven't did like and achieved for 2018, so it's just more stress and more pressure. So just say hi when you're joining. Thank you, JBR. Happy to see you too. It's really nice to connect with you directly on lives because I get to know you better. But thank you also so much for all your messages on your DMs. And yeah, that way I'm getting to know you better. And I hope that you get value out of these conversations that we have on messages or on the lives. All right, so I don't want to make it too long, because it's already quite late, right? So I already have like a few questions that you guys sent me, but feel free to send me questions like as we go along. So the first one I will answer was from Noah Muzun. Yeah, he sent me like a few days back when I announced I was gonna do a live, but I didn't because, so many reasons. Again, excuses. So Noah was saying, do you have any tips for young aspiring entrepreneurs? 16 years old fellas, and what should we do at this age before diving into entrepreneurship? All right, so that's a good question for the younger people. If I don't know how many people are here who are 16 and so, but that's a good question. Maybe you have brothers and sisters who are maybe concerned. But it's good. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for being part of this community. As a 16-year-old, I would imagine people spending more time on, video gaming and going out and, like doing fun stuff. But it's great that you're already thinking about entrepreneurship, building businesses, and especially bringing value to people's lives. So that's really a huge thing. So congratulations on that. And the fact that you're already here shows that you're interested in learning and growing, which is a huge, huge thing. I remember like parents back in the day, they were trying to push the younger people or their children to learn and go to school, and they had to do this job of motivating them. But if you're already motivated at 16, that's amazing. That's really, really great. So my tips for you is really to get out there and get maximum work experience you can get, whether that's in internships or if you can even get paid work. Just go out there, see how the world functions. Because if you want to be in entrepreneurship, you will have to build a lot of relationships, and building relationships takes a lot of experience, especially if you want to nail them. So the fact that you will be out there seeing how other people are interacting, how they're signing contracts, how they're, interacting in meetings and so on, that will be a huge eye opener for you. And it's a must-do experience before you be your own boss, because you want to get the max and you want to get the best out there. So that's my biggest recommendation to you, Noah Muzun. If you want to get maximum benefits before you start being an entrepreneur, just start doing free work, internships, get out there, start learning, like real work experience. With that, you can also read books or watch videos or be part of like associations, clubs, anything that can actually help you. And this is like, I'm just going to mention it really quickly. I think this is one of the things that helped me a lot in my business is that I started really early. And you guys can see some of my videos when I was a kid, on my YouTube channel. That was just like a few videos. Maybe you guys were not even born, right? So I started really early in the media, in communications, working at the second Moroccan TV channel, and I was doing also this newspaper on the side. So that gave me a lot of confidence. When I finished my bachelor's degree, I was so ready. I was ready to to start my own project because I built on so much experience before then as a kid and as a teenager. So yeah, just open up, get the experience you can now, and read as much as you can. I think reading helped me a lot as well to open my eyes on, like what's going on in the world, especially biographies. Back in the time, like I used to read a lot of biographies and they used to inspire me a lot. All right, so I'm just gonna go back to your comments and see if there is any question before I move to the ones that I have already. All right, well, I guess you guys are well, if you're joining, just say hi so I know you're committed to being part of this live. And Noah, if you're here, tell me if I answered your questions and if you have any other ones as well. All right, I have another question from somebody who would like to stay anonymous. And the person is asking about how to talk with clients on the phone, like how to convince them and talk to them on the phone without being shown, without having proper face-to-face meetings. And there is no like magic formula to this, and I think the simplest answer to me would be really practice. Like the more you do it, the more confident you become. And confidence actually comes out on the phone. Like you can feel somebody who's really stressed and who's trying to sell you something. And you can also feel somebody who's completely comfortable on the phone and who actually is leading the conversation very well. And sometimes like you get a phone call and that person is actually selling you a product, but you don't actually feel that he or she is selling you the product, and you end up buying it just because it's so smooth. But people are not, very few people are born that way. It's not like a natural gift. It definitely has to do with experience and learning how to talk to people, how to approach to them, how to talk about different things. Sometimes the sense of humor can also be beneficial in conversations, especially if you're selling them a product. And it could be really good like to get some experience like in working like for like call centers, people who do a lot of cold calling. But other people have done it before. You're not the first one. Just work on self-confidence. Learn your speech so hard that it doesn't sound like you're reciting, because that's the worst thing. Sometimes I have people on the phone and they're like reading a script, and I hate that. I'd like to have this human interaction with people. Obviously, we live in a world where we don't actually need to meet to do business. Like in today's world, like if you want to sign a contract, you can do it just on the phone. So don't see it as a boundary or as a barrier, but just work on your script. Make it really, really well. Know all the details really, really well. Anticipate the questions that they may have for you, and practice. Try to practice with your family, friends first before you start calling other people. But you have to know your product or your service inside out. Let me know if I answered your question. If not, just send me a message down there. Oh, no, Muzun, we were just talking about you. I answered your question, so you have to go back to the replay later. All right, another question I got from Kamal Surf. What is your main business? How did you gain all this knowledge? How to keep focused? 3 questions. I'm going to try to answer them really quick. First one, what is my main business? All my business are in communications. So I help my clients be more visible, whether that's online or offline. So we do event management, we do marketing and communication strategies, we also do writing. We write for our clients, whether that's in French or in English, and we also translate things for them. And you may wonder, like, what would be like something we would write? It would be like a financial report, an annual report. It could be like a newsletter, like internal or external newsletter. So anything to do with their communication. So that is my main business. How did you gain all this knowledge? Well, I started a very long time ago. It feels like a long time ago. And back in the time, there wasn't like anything booming like social media or YouTube. So I learned most of the entrepreneurship stuff in the real life, 10 years ago, I was in London and I was working for this company that was organizing events, networking events. And that was like my first sort of encounter to what is entrepreneurship, what is investors, what is advisors, and so on. And my job in that company was to put people together. Like I would find Mr. A. Mr. A would like to meet Mr. B. They don't know each other. I'll be the person introducing them. And I was doing this job as a student, So not in 2008. That was 2000, maybe 6. So yeah, 2008, I was over with that job. All right, so I was putting them together, and that experience gave me a lot of exposure to the entrepreneurship world. And that's actually where I met Sabirul Islam. I interviewed him on my channel. He was a kid back then. Now he's like all grown up. So yeah, so that gave me that exposure to learn from real entrepreneurs and real advisors, real investors. I was with them. We were doing these events like monthly, and I was interacting with them on a regular basis. And then with that, I was learning so much from workshops and from books. And just by being in London sort of opened my mind to like entrepreneurship. Before that, I was always doing projects and learning. Like when I was younger, I was saying like I wanted to be a journalist, but in my mind, it was like I wanted to set up a newspaper. But like to be able to set up a newspaper, you need to have business skills. But I never thought that I needed business skills. I was thinking about newspaper as in like a support, like a medium, like to write. But not in the business side of it. So when I was in London, I was like, okay, like, so this is what I want to be. I don't want to be a journalist. I actually want to be an entrepreneur. I love like setting up new projects and going really from scratch. And I did a lot of projects in my life, and I am still doing more. All right. How should we keep focused? Well, that's a tough one because it's really hard to be focused all the time. Definitely discipline. If you can plan, that's even better. If you can plan your days ahead of time, like for example, tomorrow, do you know what you're doing at 10:30 in the morning? Like a lot of us are sort of randomly going through our days, but if you keep focused and you know what you're doing the next day and you work on your list of to-dos the night before, I've already talked about this in the past, but before you go to bed, you write your to-do list for the next day. So when you wake up, you're already sort of like programmed to like boom, boom, boom. But at the same time, I don't want you to be overcharging yourself. If you're putting too much on your to-do list, then you're not going to be able to achieve anything. So maybe the best thing is to aim for 3 things to do a day maximum. And again, it depending on how big or small they are. But if you're aiming for like 3 things a day, that's achievable and sustainable. Because you can achieve so much tomorrow, but you're not sure whether you're going to be achieve a lot on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, etc. All right. So just focus on the priorities. Learn how to manage your time. Maybe you're more efficient in the morning, or maybe you're more efficient in the afternoon. Look for those power hours that you have and start like to do really the most important things and make them as part of your daily calendar. But again, don't put too much on your list. I hope I answered your questions, Kamal, Surf, and let me get to your questions now. All right, so I'm gonna go back to your comments. Noor Muzun, appreciate the piece of knowledge you're sharing. You're welcome. I hope it really helps. I mean, let me know if you need more details or. All right, Mohammed. So, how can we get motivated all the time? I don't have an answer for that because I'm not motivated all the time. But I think I'm pretty good at being motivated because I'm always looking forward to what's gonna happen next. You have to have things to look forward to. So don't wait for other people to come to you with a job or a project or a plan to go to a restaurant with friends. Create those opportunities yourself and you will really, really look forward to them. At some point in my life, I was kind of okay, nobody is calling me for this or that or this event. So I took that leadership role and I was I'm the one inviting my friend to my place. I'm the one taking them to the restaurant. So you actually stop waiting and you start leading and initiating, and life reveals itself and it becomes more interesting. So when life becomes interesting, you're really looking forward to it and you don't need any motivation because you're motivated. You don't need anyone to be telling you, all right, get up in the morning, let's go to work or let's go to school or whatever. You already know that the next day you have to wake up because the world is waiting for you to be doing that thing that you need to do or to go to that place that you need to go to. So just start creating things and opportunities for yourself that you love, things that you want to go to, and also things that will help you grow. Because when you see progress, that's motivation right there. When you see that you're going from point A to point B, so you're not on the same level, that's pretty good. I think that's what it is. All right, let me see. Mehdi, what's an accent? Any tips that can help to get that level? You mean accent as in English? I'm not sure whether that's what you mean. Just let me know down below. Mindset, motivation, what the things you put in your routine that make you unique. I don't think I'm unique, I'm just one human being out of billion human beings. But I think consistency, I feel a lot of people, they're always sort of excited at the beginning when they start something, they're happy at the beginning, but they're not consistent enough. And if you want to be successful, really success is to those people who run the marathon, not the sprint. Because sprint is really quick and then you're done. But life is a marathon, so you need to keep on going and there'll be obstacles and you need to know how to deviate them or overcome them. It's really a marathon. That's how I see life really. So my advice to you really is to be consistent in whatever you do in your life. 2 months is not enough. 3 months is not enough. 1 year, that's what I'm talking about. Hamid is saying, how do we know the right time to start a business? The right time is when you have a product or a service that meets a market's needs or wants. If you feel like you have a product or service that people want to buy or need to buy. And the right time is also when you have those people who are ready to buy your product. That's the right time for you to start the business. You need to know your audience, because this is a mistake a lot of us used to do in the past. We would have a product and then start looking for the people to buy it. No, it doesn't work that way in 2018. In 2018, you need to know who your ideal customers are. You are able to describe them, to say their age from this and that, they work in this city, they have this type of job, they have 2 cars and this and that. Really give a very detailed description of who they are. That's how it works. because nowadays we're going really, really niche. So you need to know who your audience is. So if you really know who your audience is and how to reach them, and you have a product or service that actually meet their expectation, go for it. That's the right time. Hi, hello, mommy. Good to see you here. All right. Osman is saying, I would really like to have a 1% mindset and believe in the little things in your process. Can you help me with that? Can you explain further? Because I'm not sure what does that mean. There's so many concepts out there, so I don't know like everything people write about or talk about on YouTube videos, because I don't watch many of them. I think I watch just a few. But yeah, just what is this 1% mindset? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go up there. If there are more questions, let me know. Sorry about that. Can you speak French? Yes, I can speak French. Hello, it's been a long time. Yes, it has been a long time. Can you speak Arabic? Yes, I can speak Arabic. Well, I mean, are you saying like, can I speak Arabic now? Because I'm not sure whether you're saying, can I speak? Of course I can speak Arabic, and of course I can speak French. Yeah. All right. Sorry, taking me a while to. All right. Khatabi is saying, I like your pronunciation. It helps me a lot to learn how to speak English. Well, thank you very much. I like that. But remember, I'm not a native speaker. So if you want to learn the real thing, you should go to see real like native speakers. That way you're actually learning appropriate pronunciation, because I'm not a native speaker. I mean, English is obviously my third language. So Hamid saying thank you so much to you. Now, how are you spending your first days of September? Are you feeling like you're ready to rock and roll for the last 4 months of the year? How are you feeling? Are you looking forward to what's gonna come next? Or do you have projects? What is stopping you from really taking action? Let me know down below. What is stopping you? What sorts of struggles are you finding at the moment? What is blocking you? Because I think you can spend a lot of time reading, watching videos, and so on, but at some point you really need to take action, because otherwise, what's the point of absorbing all that information? All right, so it's Man199 is saying, well, it's the thing that Gary Vee talk about. 1 is greater than 0. As even if you make a little progress, it's very important, like that marathon thing you just. Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely 1 is better than 0. And it's all about progress. It's all about, getting ahead. Today should be better than yesterday, right? And tomorrow should be better than today. It's all about making improvement, but don't make 2 days look alike, like at least small achievement, even a tiny achievement, whether in that personal level or professional level. All right, Noor Muzun is saying how to be among the 20% top players in a certain industry that make 80% of the profits. Good question. I think you should start early, tap into untapped markets, and really be visionary. Like, do you know what's going to work in 10 years time or 20 years time? Just put yourself in the shoes of an entrepreneur who can actually see what's going on in 20 years time. How would people live in 20 years time? How would people act? How would people think in 20 years time? And try to think of products and services that will actually help them in 20 years time, if you want to be part of those 20% people who dominate the world. That's how it goes. Like, if you see most people who have achieved the greatest things, they were visionaries. They created things that we couldn't even imagine. Like, something so revolutionary that it was hard for us to accept from the beginning. So my answer to you really, no, is really be visionary and start imagining what future people's needs will be. All right. Muad Gumi, why don't you speak English? I am speaking in English, right? So what do you mean? I don't know. I'm not speaking English. All right. MD was my job. How can Medlanin? How can I keep myself more disciplined? Good question. Well, I think we just talked about it in terms of like focus. It's really about planning and scheduling it, putting it part of your calendar and really respecting what you put in your calendar. It should be a priority. I was talking about this earlier on my live. I said I was really slacking off with the lives just because it wasn't really a priority of mine. And now looking back, I think it's been more than a month or maybe like a month and a half that I haven't done any live, which is a lot, right? Because I like to communicate with you guys. So if I want it to be a priority, like something I want to do consistently, it has to be a priority. So I should put it on my calendar. Say, for example, every Thursday at 9 p.m., I'm going to do a live. And it has to be on my calendar and I need to stick to it. It's the same thing that you would do for everything that you want to achieve, whether that's sports, whether that's work, whether that's, like visiting family, whatever. You put something on your calendar and you respect it and you honor that commitment that you gave yourself. That's discipline. And it's really important to know that if you're not disciplined, you will not achieve much. Because most successful people, if not all of them, they are very and highly self-disciplined. They don't need like X or Y, Z person to tell them what to do. They can have some supports like personal coaches or sports coaches, like to push them to achieve greater things. But on a daily basis, they are already disciplined. They are so thirsty for success that, like it's non-negotiable. They have to do it. They have to wake up at 5 in the morning to work out. It's non-negotiable. So you need to really change your mindset around success and also decide whether success is really for you. Is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to experience? Because success is really not for everyone. And at the same time, we're going to go back to like, what is success? Everyone's definition of success is different. So what is your definition of success? All right. Medlanin, about to start action now, and I'm just learning more things going to help me. Great. Always action. Now, it's good to read and watch videos and so on, but also when you learn something, try to practice it just afterwards so that you're not spending too much time absorbing and not put it, because when you're going to put it into practice, you may find some problems and you can go back and check how to fix that problem. So it's like work in progress, and that way you're actually getting ahead. All right. Mindset motivation books that you recommend. There's so many books. I mean, where to start? I'm going to suppose that you guys, you're wondering in terms of business books. And I think my number one is really, I don't think it's the number one. They're both like on the same level. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, for me, was a game changer in my life when I read it like 12 years ago. And the 4 hours work week, that was also very, very huge for me. So yeah, 4 hours work week by Tim Ferriss and Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And if you want something about like business skills and business attitude, I think the principles of success, was it? Jack Canfield, was really comprehensive and really like complete. I think reading that book is really enough in terms of like personal development. I don't think you need any other books after reading that one. Or you can have the the habits of high achievers, I think, something like that, by Brendan Burchard. That one as well, if you read that book, in terms of personal development, you're good to go. But these 4 books are really amazing. Take the time to read them and invest really. And reading helps rather than watching television or spending hours on Facebook and Instagram. Reading is so much better than reading captions on photos of Instagram or people's stories. I mean, I find it so much valuable, and when I close the book, I feel like I learned more, and I feel like I have grown rather than reading some captions on social media. I don't know, that's just me. Hi Safa, how are you? I'm very well, as you can see. Thank you for asking. And Ayub, what was the beginning of the sentence? And we just copy paste from them. We need creativity. Yeah, creativity doesn't come just in one go. It's something that you need to nurture. And I talked in one of my videos that some of the activities that you can do daily that have nothing to do with business can actually help you develop creativity. And I'm just saying random things like cooking or gardening or handcrafting things, or, things that are outside of business. And these activities can also very much help you think more creatively, brainstorm better, have more ideas, and really think of things that you've never really thought of. Because at some point in my life, I was so into business, and that point was the lowest point in my life because I felt so poor mentally. Like, the only thing I could remember or think of was just numbers. How I'm going to make it this month, how I'm going to pay my rent, how I'm going to make business. That was so dry. That phase and stage of my life was so dry. But as soon as I started adding other activities to my life, like going out or doing sports or doing handmade stuff, like I was doing greeting cards, it opened up my mind, and I started being more creative, and I started finding solutions to problems better. So yeah, creativity is really, really important. What is the best YouTube channel? I don't know. I have no idea. What is the best YouTube? I don't know. What do you mean? Like, in what content? YouTube channels nowadays, they have very specific niche, like I don't know, personal development, business, investment, parenting, cooking. So what is the best YouTube channel in what area? And plus, I wouldn't be able to tell you, to be honest. All right. Okay, high performance habits. Yeah, that's the one. Thank you. You've read Rich Dad Poor Dad 7 years ago. How old are you? Not 7 years ago. I read it like 12 years ago. Maybe you were still in the primary school, right? Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad is really one of the game changers, especially if you're wondering how on earth are people able to buy luxury cars, and have secondary houses, and have children in their, private school. And you're like, how on earth are they able to do that? Well, you realize that they're not really employees, but most of them, well, they can be employees loaded with credits and loans, right? But that's not the kind of people we talk about. We talk about people who are able to afford things. And you realize that they're either business owners or investors. And then when you like business owners, that's great. But a lot of time we think that business owner, like a graphic designer working from home, believes that he's actually a business owner, when in fact he's not, because a business owner is somebody who can have his business running with or without him. He or she doesn't need to be at the office or at the business for the business to be running. And that's business ownership. If you're not doing that, then you're just self-employed, and it's completely different from being business owner. I'm not going to say everything because I think I should urge you to really read that book. That's really interesting one. Definitely one of the highlights of my my book readership. All right, guys, thank you so much for being part of this live today. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you guys got the answer that you wanted from today's live. We're gonna try to do this more and more. Just send me more questions if you have here. We'll continue the discussion. I mean, it's not over. And obviously, I'm available on the DMs. You can send me a message at any time. And check out my YouTube channel if you want to have more information about motivation or creativity or this and that, discipline as well. I have some tips that I apply. I mean, all the tips that I give on my videos are tips that I have tried and I believe and live by them. All right, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you very soon. Bye.